punch it. Oh, let a little bit of wheel spin there with in the front wheel drive mode. Hello, my name is Jeff, and this is the first ever Chevrolet Equinox Aktiv, an off-road adventure-ready version of the new 4th generation 2025 Equinox. The new Equinox starts at $28,600, the Aktiv trim starts at $33,000, and the one we'll be taking a look at today as equipped is just over $38,000. Under the hood is the same engine as the outgoing 3rd generation Equinox, a turbocharged 1.5-liter 4-cylinder Ecotec engine rated for 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. However, the transmission options have changed. The front-wheel drive only models will come with a CVT automatic transmission, whereas the part-time all-wheel drive models like this one will come with an 8-speed automatic transmission with all-wheel drive at the touch of a button and multiple drive modes depending on your climate conditions. The Equinox isn't the heaviest at around 3,600 pounds, so this engine is more than enough to move it around, and it features an EPA-rated 24 miles per gallon city, 29 miles per gallon highway, and 26 miles per gallon combined. And given that it has a fairly sizable fuel tank of around 15.6 gallons, you get a combined range of over 405 miles, which I think is quite impressive and means you won't be filling this up as much as some of other vehicles, so it's fairly efficient. The other thing I like is if you look here in the engine bay, a lot of the things that you would want access to for maintaining your vehicle or doing your own maintenance are all easily accessible, which makes this quite an everyman's vehicle, so to speak. So I like to see that here in the front of the Equinox. The new look for the 4th generation Equinox really brings this vehicle into the modern era. If you take a look at it, you might even recognize a lot of similar styling cues from other vehicles in the Chevrolet lineup. The other part that I like about the Aktiv trim in particular is just that it enhances the off-road rugged look of the Equinox, which is much appreciated and makes it look obviously a bit more aggressive. Now, there are some changes with the Aktiv trim as well that you can't see. So underneath, the Aktiv actually gets specially tuned suspension, which is obviously tuned with the goal of enhancing its off-road capabilities. The other part I like is the availability of this two-tone finish. This one has the cacti green with the white roof. I think it's a nice contrast, but it also adds just a touch of retro flair. Getting into these specific features here, you do have an Aktiv badge in the front that blends into the grille. If we take a look, we have LED lighting all around, including these very aggressive daytime running lights. Your headlights and fog lights are down below. The fog lights are part of an additional package for this vehicle. Underneath, you have plenty of ground clearance. It's by no means a rock crawler, but this is going to be plenty for what the majority of people will use it for. It'll be just fine for forest roads, if you take it camping, off roads, lake roads, whatever the case is, this is more than enough here in this Equinox. As we come around to the side of the vehicle here, we also have these 17-inch wheels, which I think look quite good. They're wrapped in all-terrain tires, a necessity for any off-road vehicle. And the other cool part is if you look, there's actually this black plastic trim that goes all the way around the exterior of this Equinox Aktiv. And the upside of something like that is that if you damage that, let's say with a rock while off-roading, those components will be significantly easier to replace than any of the painted trim here on the Equinox. Now, there are some other cool features, things like cameras that you'll see throughout the exterior of this particular model that are offered as options or with other packages. This one also has the optional panoramic roof here on the top, so that'll set you back about $1,500. You do get roof rails as standard, which is a necessity, I think, for off-road vehicles if you want to carry kayaks up here or maybe even just additional gear. In the front, you get the proximity sort of keyless entry on both front doors, but not the rear. You do get tinted windows here in the back and in the back. And as we continue around here, you get this nice little kick-up spoiler, which I think is a cool styling touch, makes it look quite aggressive. Here in the back, you have more LED lighting, more badges, including another Aktiv badge, and you even get a power hatch, which is a nice touch. And obviously, this can also be used with your sort of keyless access if your hands are full with grocery bags, whatever the case is. You'll see that there's no hitch currently on the vehicle. It does have a short overhang, great for off-roading, and it can tow up to 1,500 pounds, which isn't a whole lot because it's not a ton of power under the hood, but it's still available nonetheless. Next, let's take a look at the interior, which features the special active maple sugar interior, which is this sort of microfiber suede and Evotex inserts, along with these very, very cool patterns that do give you the off-road rugged vibes. Honestly, this is my favorite interior available on the new 4th generation Equinox. I think it just looks fantastic, it feels fantastic, and it makes you feel all prideful and such when you get into your vehicle. This is also where we'll find a lot of the upgrades that are actually on this one for the packages that are available, as we also have that panoramic sunroof, $1,500 there for that, which is nice, and it extends the full interior of the vehicle. You might like it if you like to look out of the roof, but you can save some money by not getting that option. The option you do need to have, in my opinion, is the $950 Convenience Package 3. The Equinox Aktiv does come standard with heated front seats and just the driver's seat's power adjustable. But that $950 convenience package also makes the passenger seat power adjustable and adds ventilation, so you can keep the front seats nice and cooled, and then it makes the rear seats heated, which is incredibly nice if you live somewhere cold. So that's one of the cool add-ons. We also have the technology and safety package, which adds some more things I'll show you in a sec. But first, I want to show you the back seat. And the reason for that is it's incredibly spacious back here, and you even feature some nice fold-down amenities for things like cup holders. You do get separated rear vents to keep them nice and cool, in addition to those heated seats I talked about earlier. These seats also match the rest of the interior, which is very cool. And if you go ahead and climb in it, I'm 6 foot even for reference, and as you can see here, my head fits in no problem. But even more impressive is the leg room. With the seat set up for me here in the front, my knees don't even touch the back, which is incredibly impressive. So you can comfortably fit adults here in the second row of the Equinox, or you can just fold it down whenever you need, depending on your use case, and it's very, very practical. So I really appreciate that for this vehicle. It's by far one of the most value-friendly interiors, I think, and really sells me on this vehicle. I also want to show you some of the features here before we get too far. You do get memory settings as well as part of that upgraded package. You do get an automatic driver's window, power windows, power mirror adjustments, and then your rear power hatch controls here in the door. I do want to point out the speaker system. The base speaker system is just a 6-speaker system that really leaves a lot to be desired. It's not great. It's not bad. It's usable, but it's really not that interesting. Let's go ahead and start it up. Power button there. And our screens come to life, as you can see here. You have 2 different screens, obviously, one for your gauge cluster and one for your infotainment, that are kind of built into one unit. The initial impressions are great. You have this nice thick steering wheel, which is quite comfortable. These little trim pieces kind of get in the way, which is a little bit of annoying, can make it a little bit different for holding it, but honestly, it's fine and you will get used to it with time. In here in the front, you have the digital gauge cluster, which is obviously adjustable, features all sorts of information. You can quickly adjust this thing to whatever you like. If you want to simplify the gauge cluster, maybe you want some different features, or if you want to take a look at your maps to make sure you don't get lost, which is powered by Google. That's incredibly important, as a lot of manufacturers will use various systems, not Google, which will get you lost, but the Google system is great. If you don't like that, you still get wireless CarPlay and Android Auto here on your main infotainment system, which is quite simple, easy to access for a lot of your main features, as you'll see here, available at the touch of a button. No physical buttons for navigation here, just the touchscreen, but it's really easy and intuitive to use, and as I mentioned, you can hook it up to your phone for even easier access. Below that, you'll find our climate controls, which are upgraded. We get the ventilated and heated seats in this one with that extra package. The heated seats are standard, and so is dual zone climate control. Below that, you have a nice storage pocket. You have some USB chargers. You actually have this nice little pass-through down below that can be kind of hard to see, but for additional storage. You get a wireless charger here in the middle, and you also get your mode adjustment. Your mode adjustment will actually change the drive mode of the vehicle in regards to the all-wheel drive system. You have normal, off-road, and then snow and ice. And so that'll just change how the vehicle is sort of performing and driving to react to the climate you're in. You also get cup holders and a storage compartment here in the back. Moving into what's in front of the driver, there's a lot of cool tech here. I actually want to draw you to the left side here first. You have your parking brake, but more importantly, that all-wheel drive button. So it's actually a part-time system. If you take a look at the display here, you see it's currently in 2-wheel drive. If I push the button, give it a sec, It puts the vehicle in all-wheel drive. You'll get better fuel economy by driving it in the front-wheel drive mode, but the all-wheel drive is available at the touch of a button if you think you need the additional traction in the rain, off-road, whatever the case is. Additionally, over here, you get the auto hold for the brake. You also get your auto start stop. It's currently on with the orange light, but you can just push that button to go ahead and turn it off, which is how I prefer to use this vehicle. The steering wheel itself features your controls for your adaptive cruise control here on the left side, and the right side is your adjustments, including your heated steering wheel, which is a nice touch. Interestingly, for the 4th generation is the shifter. The shifter kind of harkens back to old GM models where you grab it and handle it for your truck. But this time you don't have to pull it all the way down. You just simply kind of move it around, similar to what you'd find in a Mercedes. And the thing I like about this, as opposed to the Mercedes models, is it feels a little bit more intuitive, a little bit easier to use to make sure you don't put yourself in the wrong gear. And then lastly, the button on the end will put you in park. I do want to show you the reverse cameras as well. These can be adjusted here using this display, which is kind of a nice touch, but they're also great for using while off-roading. And the fidelity is actually pretty good. And you also get the predictive parts as well. So it makes it easy to park, easy to off-road with. I think the interior here is just so good. I mean, and you can pay some extra money to get things like the cameras and the ventilated seats. So this comes as part of that safety and technology package I mentioned. And really, the Equinox is just such incredible value, and the interior feels so solid, no rattles. It really is one of the most impressive things I think you can buy right now at this price point. And the interior is really what I think is selling me on the Equinox. But let's take it for a drive. All right, punch it. Oh. A little bit of wheel spin there with in the front wheel drive mode. Obviously you can minimize that wheel spin if I was in the all-wheel drive mode, and those all-terrains aren't really meant for trying to grip on road. But anyways, what's it like to drive the Equinox Aktiv? It's honestly great. You have great visibility. From a driving perspective, the steering feels actually quite precise, but isn't overly hard or very effort intensive to drive. It's really comfortable. The ride is really good too, with those big cushy all-terrain tires. I find it's really soft, especially on road. But the other thing is the tires don't make any extra noise. It's not overly loud from a road noise perspective, and it really is a great vehicle on regular roads. You just have that option to take it off-road as well, and it's kind of, you know, tuned in that regard. I think these days a lot of people tend to like the off-road more rugged styling. I especially like the interior in this one. I think this is the one to buy, honestly. Now, it's far from the perfect vehicle. That engine is far from the fastest thing available in this segment of SUVs, but it's just fine for what the vehicle is. This Equinox isn't actually that heavy. 3,600 pounds to me is actually on the lighter side for a lot of these offerings in a day and age where almost every vehicle seems to be over 4,000 pounds, but not the case here. And so it's not fast by any means, but it's just fine for moving this vehicle around town. And the 8-speed is definitely the one to have. I haven't driven the CVT, but I really haven't ever liked any CVTs that I've been in, with the exception of the hybrid drivetrains that you'll see in like Toyotas. But this one is really good with the 8-speed. It's a great shifting transmission. I quite like it. You can manually shift it if you want to, although that's not really any fun in a vehicle like this. There's no rattles. It's nice and quiet on the inside. You have great visibility, and all the option packages that you can get, things like the cameras, make it to where if you have to haul passengers or a lot of stuff in the back, you just use those cameras, then you can avoid a lot of that and look right past it. So it's such incredible value for this vehicle. They made certain sacrifices like the speaker system and the powertrain, which leave some things to be desired, but the benefit of that is they kept the cost down. And so that makes this thing just incredibly value intensive. I also like the fact that you get all of the amenities you can ask for, things like the built-in Google navigation, but then wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can connect your phone and use it however you like. All of the buttons are very intuitive touchscreens. It's not overwhelming. I am incredibly sold on this vehicle. Like I said, it's not perfect, but for the value you get, I think it really is unmatched. If this is the market segment leader, I would totally believe it, because the features here are unbelievable. The thing I would say is you should absolutely take one of these for a drive. The Aktiv in particular has a lot of appeal as that rugged off-road version. It's incredibly capable too with the all-wheel drive, more efficient in front-wheel drive, huge capacity for traveling, that combined 400 range. Obviously, if you're on a road trip, you'll get even more miles on a tank. I'm really impressed with this. This is one of those things that if I was in the market for something like this, I think this is what I would buy. The price is just such a steal, and you don't need to get the panoramic roof if you don't want it. I think that's something me in particular I wouldn't use a whole lot, but that convenience package 3 is huge for getting the ventilation and the powered passenger seat, not to mention the heated rear seat. So much value. I mean, $950 for all that? I'm very, very impressed. The Equinox is a very, very solid offering here from Chevrolet, and anybody I think would be happy to check this vehicle out. And if you buy one, good on you. I think you made a solid choice. This thing is incredibly nice, and it's just easy to use. All the features make sense, not to mention even the off-road cameras. So well done, Chevrolet. I'm a big fan of this Equinox Aktiv. But with that, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Please like the video. Don't forget to get subscribed for more content like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.